The match function is often paired along with the index function, and a combination of the match function and the index function is used in order to fetch data from the column which is anything other than the leftmost column. So the rule of VLOOKUP is VLOOKUP always looks up leftmost column and gives you the data from same row but different column headers. So what does a VLOOKUP do? VLOOKUP looks up leftmost column, gives you the data from the same row but from different column headers. So if you have data in vertical format and in the leftmost column you have what you are searching for, you can use a VLOOKUP function. But if your data is in any other column other than leftmost column, then we will be using the match and the index function. Have you all used the match and index function before, or have you all heard of this function before? Have you all heard of the match and index function, or have you all used it before? Okay, so you all have not used. Have you all used VLOOKUP before prior to today's session? So today's function, we will first do match alone, then we will do index, and then we will merge match plus index to get the same output that we get with VLOOKUP. We will use both of them together in order to get the equal result of VLOOKUP, but in spite of the fact if your data is not in leftmost column. We will begin with we will begin with the match function now. Match function basically helps you to get the position of an object within a database. So for example, if you look at A and B as your directory of telephone numbers, so A and B column you have the names and in B column you have the telephone numbers. So if this goes as your directory and column E is a list of phone numbers, you can tally this list with your directory. You can tally this list from your directory. How will you tally it? Using the match function. Since it is a function or a formula, when you start writing the function, you will begin with an equal to sign. Write match, open bracket. Begin with an equal to sign. Write the name of the function match, open the bracket. Lookup value. Lookup value stands for what are you searching for? Your lookup value stands for what are you searching for? So here your lookup value is this first item. Always take the first item just below the label so that when you drag it down, you are able to copy this formula over a range of cells. So lookup value is this item E2, comma, lookup array stands for where are you searching for this number. So this is the number and I'm searching within a list. Which is the list I'm searching within? This one. B is to B. Which is the list within which I'm searching? B is to B. Now, when you get a reference B is to B, you do not need to use the dollar sign to lock it. I repeat, when you get a reference B is to B, you don't need to use the dollar sign to lock it. Comma, 0 for exact match, close the bracket, enter, and you will see that this particular number is on 17th position. This particular number is on 17th position. This particular number is on position number 17. Come to the corner, and if you want to drag this formula down, you can double click it and it will copy the formula across column F. Let me show it to you one more time. Begin with an equal to sign, write the name of the function match and open the bracket. Lookup value stands for what are you searching for. So here my lookup value is this number E3. Comma, table of array stands for where are you searching. Table of array stands for where are you searching. So this is the column where you're searching. Comma, type of match. So here you have three types of match: exact match, one less than, or one more than. Always, whenever we are using match, 99% of the time we always go for exact match, and that is why we use 0. You can also connect this exact match to the exact match of your VLOOKUP. So in VLOOKUP also, when we were looking for exact values, we always use 0 at the end. And here also for an exact match, we are using 0. Come to the corner and drag it down. It will copy it across the range of cells. Why am I getting the any error? I am getting the any error because there are certain phone numbers which are not present. I repeat, I am getting the any error because there are certain phone numbers which are not present. I am copy pasting this in chat box so that you all can try it. And then I will show you how to take care of the error in this formula. Please try, everyone. We'll just wait for one more minute for everyone else to complete the function. Thank you for letting me know that you have completed it. So what does the match function do? It gives you the position of a number within a range of cells. I repeat, match function gives you the position of a number within a range of cells. Now, in order to take care of this error, we will be using the if error formula. The if error formula has two parts. One, if the formula is getting a value as an answer. I repeat, if the formula is getting an answer in the form of a value, the value will be displayed. But if you are getting an error, then you can customize the error with the second part of the formula which says value if error. That means if error values are shown, you can customize the error alert and show something else instead of it. So we are basically going to envelope the match function with the if error function. In the past, when we did VLOOKUP, we used to envelope the VLOOKUP with the if error. Same concept is being extended to the match function. I repeat, the same concept of enveloping the if error around the VLOOKUP function is being extended to the match function. And here we will be using the match function, but around the match function, we will have the if error function enveloped around it. So let me come here, and outside match, I will write if error, open bracket. Outside match, I will write if error, comma. So if the value for match is obtained with the match function, if error will allow the value which match is showing to be displayed. So if via the match function, you are getting the value, it will allow the value to be displayed. But if an error is coming like the any error in row 4, 10 and 13, then we can use a hyphen or a blank cell or no value found or any such kind of customized error alert in order to take care of the error. So open quotes, hyphen, close quotes, close bracket, hidden. Now, this combination of if error along with match, I will come to the corner and drag it up. So here, wherever the value is being shown through match function, it is showing you the value. But for instances of error, it will replace it with an hyphen, which is your customized error alert in the if error function or the if error formula. So you will first write the match function and then envelope it in the if error function. We'll wait for 1 more minute for everyone else to complete. Okay, let us go ahead. Is everyone clear with match and index? Match function, I'm proceeding to the index function. Let me explain first what the index function does. If you have the address of the cell, that is the column name plus row number, the value of the the value in the cell can be fetched with the index function. So basically, if you have the column name and the row number, the value of the cell, so for example, this cell is L7, the value of the cell is fetched using index function. So if index function was used over here with this cell address, it would give you an output in the form of the value 143H70. So basically, the index function gives you the value in the cell if you have the address of the cell. The address of the cell is formulated by the combination of the column and the row. At the intersection of the column and the row, you have a unit which is unique, which is called as a cell, and the value in the cell can be obtained using the index function. So here, if you have the size and you have the zone, at the combination of size and zone, the cell which is there, the number from there can be obtained, that is the price, using the index function. However, in order to make the size and the zone dynamic, I suggest creating a drop down here using data validation. So for the size, I will create one drop down. For the zone, I will create another drop down. And at the combination of the size and the zone, the cell which is there, you can use it in order to get the index value. So for size, we will go to data, and under data tools, we will go to the data tab, and under data tools, we have something called under data tools, we have something called as data validation. Under data tools, we have something called data validation. Under data tools, we have something called as data validation. So click on data validation, and here we have something called validation criteria. Under allow, there is a drop down here called list, and from here we are going to create a drop down or a list. For the source of the list, I am going to come here and choose the size. Click again over here and say OK. So this is the list with the sizes. And for the zone, I'm going to use one more drop down or one more data validation. And here I'm going to go to data tools. Under data validation, allow list. And in source of the list, I'm going to take these items. Click again here and say OK and click on the drop down. So create two drop downs using data validation, everyone. Please create the drop down using data validation, everyone. Okay, great. Now we are going to go ahead with the index function. And in the index function, we have three parts to the formula. Is equal to index, open bracket, is equal to index, open bracket. First, we have array, which is our data or our database, where we have to search. Then we have our row number, which is our size. Then we have our column number, which is nothing but our zone. So at the intersection of the size and the zone within the database, the cell which is there, the value has been fetched using index function. Using index function. So is equal to index, array stands for data or database, comma, row number is size, comma, column number is zone, close bracket, enter, and here you have the price. Here you have the price. So at the intersection of 5 and 7, the value which is there has been fetched using the index function. So at the intersection of 5 and 7, the value has been used in order to use the index function. Is equal to index, open bracket, array stands for data or my database, comma, row number stands for the row in which you are searching, that is your sizes, comma, column stands for the column within which your data is, that is my zone, close bracket, hit enter, and this is the answer. Now, by making the drop down, I repeat, by making the drop down, I am making it dynamic in nature. So every time I change the value, you will see changes in the price. Every time I change the value, you will see changes in the price. Please try everyone, index function. So index function is dependent on row number and column number. Index function is dependent on the row number and column number. Try this. Please try this everyone before we proceed. We will then go to the column of the shipping cost. At the intersection of the size and the shipping zone, we have a cell called the shipping cost. At the intersection of the size and the shipping zone, we have a cell called shipping cost. In order to calculate the shipping cost, we will again be using the index function by looking up this particular database. So let's begin with an equal to sign, index, open bracket. RA stands for data or your database where you are searching, comma, row number stands for the row from where you want to pick up the data. Row number stands for the row from where you want to pick up the data. So that is 5, comma, column number stands for the column from where you want to fetch the data. That is shipping zone. Close the bracket and enter. But I am not going to punch in this formulae repeatedly. I repeat, I am not going to punch in this formulae time and again. What I am going to do is I'm going to write the formulae down once, and then I'm going to come to the corner of the cell and drag this formulae down so that my reference changes. So I'm going to write the formulae down just one time, and I'm going to drag the formulae down so that my reference of my formulae changes and it considers different rows of data. Okay. In order to do this, what I am going to do is I am going to use index function, refer to the array or the range of cells, lock it with dollar sign. I'm going to refer to the array or the range of cells and lock it with the dollar sign, comma, then we will look for row number. Row number stands for the row from where we want to fetch the data. Row number stands for the row from where we want to fetch the data. So for row number, I'm going to take 5, comma, and for column number, I will take 5 again because zone 5 is the column which it is referred. Close the bracket, enter, and now when I come to the corner of the cell and I double click, it will copy this across the entire O column and complete the formulae for me. The advantage of using dollar sign is as my rows are changing one after the other, my data or table of array which I am referring to is static, it is constant, it is not moving down. Had you not used the dollar sign, as this was moving down, even this would start moving down. And at one given time, it would actually be referring to blank cells along the column. Because every time the row in O column moved down, in the selected area also the row would keep moving down because of the practice of dragging the formulae downwards. So as the row entries would change, the row entries in the database also or the table of array also would change. In order to avoid this change of reference or of table of array, we lock it by using the dollar sign. F4 is the keyboard shortcut to lock it with the help of the dollar sign. And then when you drag it down, the reference will not change. Please try this, everyone, with dollar sign. Dollar sign is used in all formulas when you plan to drag the formulae down and you are referring to a range of cells or an array and you do not want your reference to change. Let me know when you all have completed index formula. Okay, let us proceed. Have you all completed index function? Please give me a heads up in the chat box. Have you all managed to complete the index function? Let me know in the chat box. Do you all want me to repeat the index function? Let me know. I will repeat it before we go ahead. If anyone is not feeling very confident about index function and you all want me to repeat the function, let me know. I can repeat the function as well. Have you all completed index function? Can I proceed? Do you all want me to repeat index function? Please let me know. Because now I'm going ahead with a combination of match and index, which can replace the VLOOKUP. I'm going ahead with a combination of match and index function, which will replace your traditional VLOOKUP. In order to perform the match and index function together, okay, let me first understand or explain the data tool. In column D, I have the months, okay, of the year. And in row 1, I have the different products. At the combination of the month and the product, I get the quantity. At the combination of the month and the product, I get the quantity. So first, I'm going to create a drop down using data validation. I repeat, I'm first going to create a drop down using data validation. In order to make it dynamic, so that every time I change my month, I will see changes in my match value, which will in turn affect my index function. So take a blank cell, go to data. Under data tools, there is data validation and click on data validation. Under validation criteria, click on allow list and in source of the list, choose these items. Click again here, say OK, and this is my drop down for the months. Please create the drop down using data validation for your months, everyone. Please create your drop down using data validation for the months. Okay, now let's create a drop down for the product names or the items. Go to the Home tab, go to Data Tools. Under the drop down, there is Data Validation. Click on this, Allow, List, and in source of the list, we will be taking these items. Click again here, say OK, and this is the drop down. And these are the items. Now we will use the match function. Now we will use the match function in order to get the position of March within a database. So is equal to match, open bracket, is equal to match, open bracket. So first we need the position of match, using match, the position of the month March in the list of months. So using match function, we will get the location or the position of the month March in the column. Click on March, which is your lookup value, comma, lookup array stands for where are you searching? I am searching in this column, comma, type of match, I'm looking for an exact match, so 0 for an exact match, close bracket, hit enter, and month March is on position 3. Click on the drop down, change the month to September, you'll see 9. Change it to June, you'll see 6. Now for flash drives, I'm going to again use the match function. Is equal to match, open bracket, is equal to match, open bracket. Lookup value flash drives, comma, lookup array, this is the list, comma, type of match, exact match, so 0, close bracket, hit enter. Here you have flash drives, and as you change the item from the drop down, you will see different numbers for the items in row 1. So first step, create the drop down. Second step, we have created match. First step, we have created drop down. Second step, we have created match function. I'm copy pasting the match formula in chat box. I'm copy pasting the match formula in the chat box. Please complete this much before we go ahead with index function. Thank you for the update. Now let us go to index function. For index function, the row number and the column number we will get from match. I repeat, for the index function, the row number and the column number item we will get from match function. And here, to get the quantity, I will use the index function. Begin with an equal to sign, index, open bracket. RA stands for data or database which you're referring to, comma. Row number stands for the month number, which is 6, which I've got through match, comma. For column number, I am referring to the DVD drives column, which is the third column. Enter, and this is my answer. I am copy pasting the formula in the chat box for your reference. If now I go and I change the month, if I go and I change the month to October, you will see the quantity changes. If I go and change the product to flash drives, you will see that the quantity changes. So every time I change the value of my drop down, my match function will change, and my index function, which is based on my match function, will also change. I repeat, every time I change my item in the drop down using the drop down, it will affect the match function, which is based on that, and eventually it will also affect my index, which is a combination of my match function and my table of array. Please try this, everyone. Let me know when you all are done with the match function and the index function. We have deconstructed them and written them in 3 separate cells. As you get more proficient and you would like to write them together in a single cell, you can definitely attempt the same. Okay. Using the concept of match and index, after scrolling slightly horizontally, In column P, Q, and R, you have employees, you have the department they belong to, and you have the SS number. In column V also, you have the SS number. If I would like to check the SS number is associated with which employee, I can use a combination of match and index function. Match will give me the position of the SS number and index will give me the value from the name column. Now, when we write index function or we write any function, often in the function, the different parameters which are there, the parameter at the end is in square bracket. Like for example, in this scenario, the column number is in square bracket. For example, in this scenario, the column number is in square bracket. When an option is given in square bracket, it is considered as an optional entity. I repeat, it is considered as an optional entity. By optional entity, I mean that is, even if I do not provide an input, I repeat, even if I do not provide an input, I will still get the answer for the same. Even if I don't provide an input, I will still be getting the answer in the circumstances where I have chosen only one column for my output. Let us have a look at match function. Then we will go ahead with index. Now, the important point here, when we are referring to a database, if in the match function you are taking the labels, in the index function also take the labels. But in match function, if you take below the labels, then index function also take below the labels. So that you do not get that difference of 1. I repeat, so that you do not get that difference of 1 in the calculation. Is equal to match, open bracket. Is equal to match, open bracket. Lookup value, this is the lookup value, comma. Lookup array, we are looking up within this column. Control shift and down arrow key. Comma, 0 because I'm looking for an exact match. Now, the ideal practice would be the table of array or the lookup column I've chosen, I would lock it with $sign. But right now, I do not want to give and lock the $sign. So right now, I'm just writing it from the purpose of writing the formula in a single sentence. But the correct practice would be to write it with $sign. Now I've got match value, right? Now I will use index function. Is equal to index, open bracket. Array stands for data or database where you are searching. So I want the name and it is a name column. So since in match function, I took the labels, I have to take the label or the heading of the column in index function as well. Since in the match function, I took the headings, I have to take the headings for index as well. Control shift and down arrow key, comma, row number stands for the row from where you want to fetch the data. Here, the row is this answer which I've got from match function. Do I need to put a comma and state the column number? No. In this scenario, the column number becomes an optional entity because I have only referred to a single column. Column number becomes an optional entity because here I've only referred to a single column. Close bracket, hit enter, and this is the answer. Please try everyone, match and index both. Please try match and index function both. This is the match function and this is the index function. Now, these are the formulas which I have done only for the purpose of the single cell. If I want to put it and drag it across the entire column, I will say is equal to match, open bracket. Select the lookup value, that is what you're searching for, comma, lookup array stands for where you're searching, lock it by using $sign, comma 0 for an exact match, enter. Come to the corner, drag the formulae down. Now, why could I drag the formulae down? I could drag the formulae down because I went and I locked the range of our column. So as I dragged it down, though my rows changed from W3 to W4, W5, you will see that over here, the range which it is looking up, that is our column, is a fixed entity. Let me punch in the formula for index function is equal to index, open bracket. Now, since you have taken the column label in match, we have to take the column label for index also in array column. This is my array, my data or my database. Since I do not want the reference to move down or my reference to change, I will lock it by using the $sign, comma, row number 11. Here, I will go ahead with the idea of the column being an optional entity because the column is given in square bracket, close bracket, enter, come to the corner of the cell and drag. I'm copy pasting the formula with $sign also for your reference. Please try it with $sign if you have not yet tried it with $sign. $sign is used in formulae when you do not want your reference to change because you want your reference to be fixed and you want it to look up a fixed range of cells. Let us go ahead with two-way VLOOKUP. Let us go ahead with two-way VLOOKUP. As you all know, we had done VLOOKUP in the previous classes, and VLOOKUP basically looks up the leftmost column and then gives you the data from the same row but from different column headers. So here we have the acronym of the state. If we want the full name of state, we can look up this particular table and get the full name of the state. So by looking up this yellow table, we can get the full name of the state. Okay. So the first step what we are going to do is we are going to get the full name of the state. So is equal to VLOOKUP, open bracket, lookup value state name, comma, table of array stands for data or database. So this is my data or my database. Now, since I am punching in the formula in cell L2 and my data is quite extensive and there is a high chance that I will drag the formula down, I will need to lock this by using the dollar sign. Dollar before column, dollar before row will lock that range of cells so that the range remains a fixed entity, and as I drag it down, the reference of my range does not change. The reference of my range does not change. Comma, column index number stands for column number within the database from where I want to pick up the data. Column index number stands for column number within the database from where I want to pick up the data from. So here I want to pick up the data from the second column within the selection. So I will choose 2, 0 for exact match, close bracket, enter. And here for NY, I have got the output as New York. Double click and my whole L column is populated by looking up the yellow table and with the help of the VLOOKUP formula. So what did VLOOKUP do? It looked up this cell where within this table and gave me the answer from the same row but from a different column, that is from column 2. I'm copy pasting this so that you can try this two-way lookup on the two-way lookup sheet. Everyone, please try this two-way lookup on the two-way lookup sheet. Once you all have completed this, we will go ahead with looking up this particular table. Now, in this particular table, the leftmost column is your full name of your state. But in order to find out whether it is urban or rural, we will need to do match function. Right click, insert a new column, and here I'm going to perform the match function in order to check whether it is an urban location or a rural location. So I will do an extra column with match function, which is looking up this value within this table of array and looking for an exact match. Post that, I will do another VLOOKUP and complete this formula. So is equal to match function open bracket. Now, why is this called a two-way lookup? Because it is not only looking up vertically in the column, it is also looking up within the row and fetching data from different column headers based on the match function. So is equal to match open bracket, lookup value urban, comma, lookup array, this is your lookup array, comma, match type 0 for an exact match, hit enter. If I want to drag this formula down, I will have to lock this cell so that my reference does not change when I drag the answer down. So I will come to the corner and double click so that as I drag my formula down, the reference of this cell does not move downwards, as in column M, the entries are moving down. So is equal to match function, lookup value urban. Where am I looking up? Within this row. Column index number is, within this row, and I'm looking for an exact match. And this is the match function. I have locked the match function so that it only refers to this row number 14. And as I drag the formula down, my reference does not change. Finally, for the column and the calculation of the tax purpose, I will be using the VLOOKUP. So I will look up the full name of the state. I will look up within this particular purple table. And for column index number, I will refer to column M. And if it is urban, it is picking up from second column. But if it is rural, it will pick up from third column. So is equal to VLOOKUP. This is your two-way lookup. Lookup value, full name of the state, comma, where is it searching? It is searching within this table of array. Lock this table because as you drag it down, you do not want your reference to change, comma, column index number stands for column number within the selection from where you're fetching data. So that I will get from this particular column of match, comma 0 for an exact match in VLOOKUP, enter. And here in percentage format, you will get your tags from the purple table. Come to the corner, and because we have locked the table, which is the purple table with a dollar sign, as you drag it down, the reference will not be changing. As you drag it down, the reference will not be changing. Let me know when you all complete, everyone. This is VLOOKUP using two ways and referring to a match function. Two-way lookup using match function along with it. Please try it. Let me know if you all want this to be repeated. Let me know when you all have completed, everyone. We will now go to the date function sheet. Now let me zoom the sheet a little bit. And if I click on this particular date, which is the joining date, and instead of date format, I put it in general format, you will see a number. I am sure this has happened to you a number of times, where instead of date, you see a numeric value being displayed rather than your date. But when you go to the drop down and either choose a long date or a short date format, your data automatically gets converted into a date format. What is this number? This number is number of months from 1st Jan 1900. In case of Mac, it is from 1st Jan 1904. In case of Mac, it is from 1st Jan 1904. So this particular number is the number of months which have passed. Now, if instead of putting this in general format, I put it in short date or long date format, I automatically get a date value. So if you see a numeric value, all you have to do is in the home tab under the date category, click on the drop down and choose the date formatting that you would like to go ahead with, whether it is a long date or a short date. But sometimes you may not be very happy with the presets that you are getting. Sometimes you may not be happy with the presets that you are getting in terms of the date. In that case, you can go to the home tab and under number, you have an option here and you can choose the different types of date format. You can see different types of date format. You can see different types of date format. You can choose one that you like, and here you will see it in that particular date format. Now, along with date format, we also have a function called today function. What does today function do? If I write is equal to today, open bracket, close bracket, enter, it gives me the current date. See over here, also called as system date. What is the advantage of using the system date? That tomorrow when I start my laptop, the system date will auto update itself and give me 10th November 2023. And on Saturday, it will show me 11th November 2023. So when we use the today function or the system date, it enables us to refresh and get answers and calculate the number of days, the number of years, or the number of time taken to complete a particular task. So now, in order to calculate the number of years that the employee has worked or the number of years of the employee, I will use a formula called is equal to year, open bracket, take the current date because obviously it's a bigger number, minus year, open bracket, take the joining date. So take the year of the current date, minus it from the year of the joining date and enter, and you get a number over here. So date of the current year of the current date minus year of the joining date is giving you the number of years of experience. So year of current date minus year of joining date is giving you the number of years. Please try, everyone. Today function, changing the formatting, and year minus year. Please try, everyone. Let me know when you will complete, everyone. Is equal to year of current date minus year of joining date will give you the number of years or the experience of the employee. In order to calculate the 15% bonus, it is 15% of the basic salary. I repeat, it is 15% of the basic salary. So we will begin with an equal to sign. Select the salary column, multiplied by 15%. And since we want all of the salaries to get a 15% bonus, we will lock the 15% cell with the dollar sign by using the keyboard shortcut F4. The keyboard shortcut F4 puts dollar before column and dollar before row, and it will lock the cell. The keyboard shortcut F4 will put dollar before column and dollar before row, and it will lock that particular cell, so that when I come to the corner of the cell, my reference does not change. If we do not lock the reference 15%, as we start moving down in the formula, 15% will not be the cell referred to. You will have the value above it being referred to in every instance. In order to avoid this, we need to lock the 15% cell or make the 15% cell constant so that the reference does not change. In order to calculate the total, we will be using the sum function. But since the cells are far away from each other, comma will be used as a separator in order to refer to both the cells. So select the cell is equal to sum, open bracket, select salary, comma, select bonus, close bracket, hit enter, and this is the answer. Come to the corner of the cell and double click, and here you have in each of these cells the salary being added to the bonus and the total. Salary being added to the bonus and the total. If you all have completed, please let me know so that I can go to the next series with date functions. Now, before I explain further in date functions, I'm going to write Y representing years, M representing months, and D representing days. Here, to get months over years, I will say YM. And to get days over months, I'll do MD. Here I'm going to use the dated function in order to calculate the total number of years the employee has worked. I will use the dated function to calculate the total number of years the employee has worked for is equal to dated if, open bracket, hire date, comma, current date, comma, and into inverted commas y, close bracket. This will give me the total number of years worked by an employee. This will give me the total number of years worked by an employee. Press enter and 35 is the answer. Similarly, if I write is equal to dated if, open bracket, hire date or start date, comma, current date, comma, M, it will give me total months the employee has worked. So only writing Y will give me years. Only writing M will give me months is equal to dated if, open bracket, hire date, comma, current date, comma, D will give me days past. Since text is always in inverted commas, if you're writing Y or you're writing M or you're writing D, you will have to write it in double inverted commas. I'm copy pasting these in the chat box. Please try them out, everyone. I'm copy pasting them in the chat box. Please try them out. If anyone wants anything to be repeated, please let me know. If anyone wants any function or formulae to be repeated, please let me know in chat. Try out these, please. Number of days, number of months, number of years. Sometimes what happens is you are given a product order date, then you are given the ship date, then you are given the receive date. You can actually track that between these how many days or how many weeks was spent or how many months was spent. Please try, everyone. Also, if it has exceeded the time limit taken in order to dispatch the order, you can ask for like a conditional formatting. So if it is more than 10 days, make it red to draw your attention towards it basically. So by using conditional formatting on a cell, you can draw attention to certain criterias or certain conditions. Please try, everyone. Now, here if you see, I've written YM. If here 35 years have been completed, there may be certain months also which have passed. If you want to find out that above 35 years, how many months have passed, then you'll use the function is equal to dated. If, open bracket, select the higher date, comma, select the current date, comma, into inverted commas YM, which will give me how many years above months. How many years above months. YM will give me how many years above months. So it will tell me how many years have passed, 35. Above 35 years, how many months? So it is 35 complete years. There are no months which are complete. But there could be certain days like 35 years and 5 days, 35 years and 20 days. So in order to find out the days, we will write is equal to dated if, open bracket, select the higher date or the starting point, comma, current date, comma, into inverted commas MD, which will give me how many days above the months. So here I've got the answer, 35 years. I repeat, 35 years and 14 days is the work experience. I can write this in the form of concatenate function. But before that, I want you all to try this out, please. Try these two functions, dated if with YM, dated if with MD. Dated if with YM, dated if with MD. Please try them out, everyone, before we go ahead with concatenate function. Let me know when you all complete the dated if function so that I can go ahead with the concatenate function. Okay, let us go ahead with the concatenate function. Now, what does the concatenate function do? The concatenate function is used in order to join the data within the cells. I repeat, the concatenate function is used in order to join the data within the cells. So there are two ways of using the concatenate function. One is you use the shortcut. So you do is equal to select one cell, keyboard shortcut and select second cell, is equal to select one cell, keyboard shortcut and select second cell. This will join the two texts but without the spacing. This will join the two texts but without spacing. However, between name and surname or between any two parts of text, we always need one character spacing. So what we do is we do reference of cell 1 and then we do open quotes, space bar, close quotes. Open quotes, space bar, close quotes will give you one character spacing. Open quotes, space bar, close quotes will give you one character spacing and select the second cell. Enter and this is the answer. Now, the other way of doing the concatenate function is equal to concatenate, open bracket, select text 1, comma. Again, we need one character space, open quotes, space bar, close quotes, comma again, and select text 2. Close bracket, hit enter, and this is the answer. So, the concatenate function will enable you to join the text 1 and text 2 with one character spacing. Concatenate function will help you join the text 1 and text 2 with one character spacing. I'm putting in both the formulas, the concatenate function as well as the shortcut of concatenate so that you all can try it out, everyone. I'm putting in both of them. Try both versions. Often I have been told that whenever there are participants, they always say that the AND shortcut is good when you don't need spacing. So often participants prefer the AND shortcut when you don't need spacing. So if you have to do is equal to Y and M, participants prefer this function AND. But when there is a spacing required, then the participants prefer this method with the concatenate formula and with open quotes, space bar, close quotes as space because they find this easier to write. When they keep writing AND along with the open and the close quotes, often participants tend to get confused. So over a period of time, this is what I have noticed, that they favor the spelling concatenate with spacing. But if it is just directly joining two things in the absence of spacing, then they like the keyboard shortcut AND. So I leave it to you to choose whichever option you are comfortable with. Yeah, let me know if you all want me to repeat anything. Please let me know if you all want me to repeat anything. Let me know if you all have any questions or any doubts. Now, if you need to join this text, like it has been joined here, okay, as 42 years, 7 months, and 8 days have passed, you can use either the AND shortcut or you can use concatenate. Let me show you concatenate and then you can try it with AND as well. Is equal to concatenate, open bracket, select the first text, comma, and into inverted commas, you can write years, close inverted commas, comma, open quotes, spacebar, close quotes for 1 character space, comma. There is no months, so I will not choose months. Choose 14, comma, and write days, close inverted commas, close bracket, enter. So here they have completed days. You can write space, have passed. You can write it in this manner. If you want to use AND shortcut, you'll write is equal to 35 and you'll write years, because years is text, it will be in inverted commas. And again, open quotes, spacebar, close quotes, and again, 14, and again, days, close inverted commas, and again, open quotes, spacebar, close quotes. So 35 years and 14 days have passed. So these are two methods of writing it. I'm copy pasting it in the chat box so that you can complete this date functions series. This is the last topic for today. So if you have any doubts or any questions with regard to what has been covered today, you can ask now. Or if anything in the past that has been covered and you want it to be repeated, since you have tried it or you have any query or doubt, please do let me know. Please try out concatenate function and the keyboard shortcut and for the date function. Anyone, any questions, any queries? Do any of the participants have any questions or any queries?